Here are 7 tips that will help keep you in the fight so you can clear the 9 Circle Savage, P9s, along with explaining a little bit about the fight. Tip number 1. Dual Spell. You want to keep an eye on the boss's hand for the element he shows you. If you see fire, that means partner stack. If you see lightning, that means your solo spot. Then look at what flashes on your screen. This will let you know if you have to stay inside if it is ice, or if you have to move outside one layer if the flashing sign was lightning or fire. The first dual spell is always a partner stack, then solo, and then partner. The rest are random, which ones he gives you, with the exception of the second rock breaker, which I'll show later. That one is always a partner stack. So watch his hands for the spell and then adjust. For number 2, watch the small fire line and adjust to the AoE. Keep an eye on the cast bar for the side the boss is going to kick. If the AoE is outside first, move inside by the 2 long lines. If it is inside first, then just stay far away on the side with the short fire, then move in after. Remember, the AoE goes off after each explosion, so wait for both attacks on the second one so you don't get clipped. One last thing to note is that if you get stuck on the same side the boss will kick, don't worry about it, and just know you'll have to run to the other side afterwards. You will have time to adjust. Remember to stack with your group. For number 3, Levin Strike, while using JP strat. You want to keep the 1 and 3 towers in your line of sight across from you, like I show here. Next important thing to remember is when the group switches. Right after the second blue circle goes off, the main thing this affects is 6 having to sprint in front of the group to the new fire spot, and the other thing is the blue circle number 3 who will stay behind and stand in the old fire spot. For numbers, use this chart, and if it helps, think of the first group as 2 and 6 and the second group as 4 and 8. Remember, if your number is the lower one in your group, fire will be first before your tower, and if your number is higher, you'll do the tower first before your fire. Don't forget about the dual spell, which serves as a player check. This one will be random, so keep an eye on the hand, like I mentioned for the first tip. Number 4. Not much to say for this one, just seeing it should make it easier, so hope the gameplay helps. But keep an eye north at the start and then look to the right until you find the half-broken meteor that landed. Next, if you're a support role, you'll go to the broken rock as DPS baits the first lightning. Make sure you keep your partner in view and save sprint to take their spot once the poison AoE shows up, and then you just switch with them and you're set. For number 5, this is a different version of Rockbreaker, but it can catch people off guard if you're not ready for the partner stacks. My tips for this is similar to the first one, so this would be quick. Keep an eye on the short line both times and rotate to the side it is on. After it goes off, rotate back towards your side and color. Keep your eye on both spots you could be stacking at. Soon as you see the second AoE disappear in the element flash, sprint to your partner stack spot. Next up, number 6. Another important one. All melee DPS and tanks will be close to the boss during his cast, so you don't get numbers. Next, everyone without a number runs south and stops on the marker, so you have a little room. As soon as the numbers appear, the player as main tank pulls the boss north and stays there until he sees the cast bar, and then right away runs south to the group. If the boss's move says front kick, once he hops on the group, just take a few steps south so that the boss's attack goes that way. If it says rear fire kick, step in towards the center so he kicks away from everyone. All 4 players have to do this as a group to avoid the boss randomly turning around. As for the players with numbers, if you're not first up, stand near the south marker, then switch with the first and second player who stand northwest and northeast. Alright, last up, number 7. Not much on this one. Keep an eye on the hands because the element is random and lots of raid wides happen, so the healers are going to have to be ready and you don't want to lose any players. If you are a tank, you also have another duality of death, Tank Buster. My tip for this is to be ready with your tank stand, and you can also tank it from your clock spot. It'll happen right after a dual spell, so you don't want to be running around. And that's it. You're done the Savage. I kept everything in sequence so that you can see the order stuff happens. Hopefully that is helpful as well. Those are my tips to help keep you in the fight so you can clear P9s. Thanks for watching and be safe.